You're watching Truth versus Hype. We're at the venue of a public meeting in Bharuch, where Narendra Modi has just announced the construction of a massive statue of Sardar Patel, the latest attempt by the BJP's prime ministerial candidate to appropriate the mantle of one of the Indian independence movement's tallest figures. Events like these have triggered some amount of panic in the Congress, which is making a late attempt to try and claim some of the Patel legacy for itself as well. But as we shall see in the next 30 minutes, India's Iron Man was far too complex a figure to be claimed either by the Hindutvavaadis or by the present-day Congress. Under a tent in the town of Kevadia, the unveiling of plans of a grand statue of Sardar Patel. To make the announcement, the BJP's former Loh Purush eclipsed by the new claimant of the Iron Man mantle. Narendra Modi makes it clear that Patel belongs to no one.
हम राणा प्रताप का सम्मान करेंगे कि नहीं करेंगे? हम छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज का सम्मान करेंगे कि नहीं करेंगे? हम भगत सिंह का सम्मान करेंगे कि नहीं करेंगे? क्या वो बीजेपी के मेंबर थे क्या? अरे दल से बड़ा देश होता है और देश के लिए जीने मरने वाला है इंसान. हमारे लिए प्रेरणा होता है, हमारे लिए गौरव होता है. और इसलिए मित्रों, सरदार साहब को किसी दल के साथ जोड़ना उनके साथ बहुत बड़ा अन्याय होगा.
But from the high decibel oratory, the message is clear. Patel has been claimed by the BJP and more specifically by its latest icon.
महापुरुष का नाम है सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल.
आपको लगता है कि मोदी जी सरदार पटेल की तरह हैं?
यस, 100%.
नरेंद्र मोदी जी भी सरदार पटेल की तरह हैं?
हाँ बिल्कुल, ऑफ कोर्स. बिल्कुल है.
क्या?
वो भी लॉ पुरुष है, वो आज के लॉ पुरुष है.
Of course, he was conservative in his approach. He was also, historically speaking, he was also opposed to Congress socialism, you know, or Congress socialist group at that point of time started after 1934, no doubt about that. But at the same time, you know, his philosophy of life was different.
Gandhi. Completely.
Gandhi, yes. In his outlook, he was Gandhian.
If Patel owes his political baptism to anyone, it is to Gandhi, an influence which Modi's speech pointedly ignored. Gandhi's and Patel's paths crossed shortly after Patel, who broke away from his family's rustic roots in central Gujarat to study law in England, returned to a thriving practice in Ahmedabad.
Vallabhbhai Patel was a fashionably dressed, successful barrister in Ahmedabad when Gandhi arrived there in 1915. And then in a year or two thereafter, his life changed. He joined Gandhi.
Where we are in Sabarmati Ashram, is this where the relationship began? In
I mean, they must have walked around here a great deal.
Gandhi and Patel. Patel would spend more and more time here at Sabarmati Ashram, from where, under Gandhi's guidance, he would organize a series of satyagrahas against the prohibitive taxation of farmers.
Sardar's movement into our public life actually begins with the Kheda Satyagraha, something which was very close to him in terms of both the
And this was against prohibitive tax?
This is against prohibitive tax.
Imposed by the British?
Imposed. But this is about revenue collection and deferment of revenue. And this is something that happens between 1917 and onwards.
Right.
And this is where Sardar would actually begin to become an organizational person, would acquire a certain kind of language through which he would speak to the peasantry. And it would find a culmination in Bardoli, which would be seen as his very large moment.
Right, this is the Bardoli Satyagraha, which happened somewhere near Surat.
Surat, 1928.
3 years after the Bardoli Satyagraha, he became one of the Congress party's key organizers.
सरदार 1937 के इलेक्शन में, 1946 के इलेक्शन में कैंडिडेट जो संसदीय पक्ष था, उसका जो पार्लियामेंट्री बोर्ड था, उनके अध्यक्ष थे. Not only that, but he was the treasurer. तो जो खर्च करने का था, उसका पूरे के पूरा जो व्यवस्था करना था वो सरदार ने किया था।
So how could someone who's so steeped in Gandhian philosophy and is a hardcore Congress organization man claimed by the Hindu right? The narrative is posited on the idea that Patel was far less squeamish about his Hindu identity compared to someone like Nehru.
हम भी कहते हैं इस देश को सरदार साहब वाला सेक्युलरिज्म चाहिए, वोट बैंक वाला सेक्युलरिज्म नहीं चाहिए। सरदार साहब सेक्युलर थे, लेकिन उनको सोमनाथ का मंदिर बनाते हुए उनका सेक्युलरिज्म आड़े नहीं आया था। इस देश की अस्मिता को लेकर के चले।
This, say his admirers in the BJP, is further borne out by his plain speaking to Muslims who stayed back in India.